being counted across the country. Polls close at 7 o'clock in Georgia. WJCL covering every race you need to know about, from the coastal empire to the low country, bringing you information on how this will affect Georgia, South Carolina, and our nation as a whole. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Kevin Holmes.
And I'm Jennifer Andrews. Some races in South Carolina already decided, with Republicans owning the ballot. Let's get right to our coverage tonight. We are working for you with teams covering all the races from Atlanta to the Low Country. Nick Notario in the Coastal Empire with the Buddy Carter and Brian Reese race. Larry Spruill and Megan Schiller, they are working for you in the Low Country with statewide and local races from the governor to the mayor. And
WJCL's Ashley Lincoln is working for you in Atlanta, following the close Senate race between Michelle Nunn and David Perdue. In the Georgia Senate race, Democrat Michelle Nunn is facing Republican David Perdue. He's been leading the race all night, but Nunn is starting to gain some ground. However, CNN projects Perdue will win the Senate seat right now.
And we've been keeping a very close eye on that race all night long, because whoever wins will help decide which party controls the Senate.
There you see David Perdue with 56% of the vote. Amanda Swafford, the Libertarian, coming in with 2%. You know, many thought she would help force a runoff. WJCL's Ashley Lincoln has been in Atlanta covering the race throughout the day. She spent the afternoon at Michelle Nunn's camp.
Yes, well, now she has moved on over, as you can hear, to the Perdue camp, and it looks like he is going to win it. CNN has declared him the winner. She kicks off tonight's election coverage in Atlanta.
Well, Kevin and Jennifer, we can let the celebration begin. Let me tell you, this ballroom just erupted as they called David Perdue the winner of Georgia's Senate seat. Now, poll numbers are showing he beat Michelle Nunn 55% to 43%, and his supporters are ecstatic. They were just chanting. If you can see, look at them, they are excited about what's going on. Just let them speak for themselves, you know? A lot of ecstatic supporters. They say that Georgia voted him in this office and that he is the man to run the Senate, and the Republicans will be holding on to the Senate for the state of Georgia. Now, we also talked to former Senator Saxby Chambliss earlier, and he said that David Perdue is more than qualified to hold this position, and he is confident. Take a listen.
You know, Michelle is a very nice lady. I know she and her family well. They're great folks. I just happen to think David is the best candidate to go to Washington under the situation that we have now and do the best job for Georgia.
And now, David Perdue, he will be filling Senator Saxby Chambliss, who is retiring again. Now, again, those poll numbers are 55% to Nunn's 43%. Again, the supporters say that they are ecstatic. This has been a long road coming. A lot of people thought that this would end in a runoff. Nunn's numbers compared to Perdue's in polls were pretty neck and neck, but Georgia spoke and they voted today at the polls, and David Perdue looks like he will be holding that Senate seat for the state of Georgia. But for now, reporting in Atlanta, Ashley Lincoln for WJCL News, working for you.
All right, thanks, Ashley. Meanwhile, we're also following the Georgia governor race.
Absolutely a big race in the state of Georgia. There you see the numbers. Incumbent Governor Nathan Deal facing off with State Senator Jason Carter. And let's take a look at how this race is shaping up. There you see it, Deal 56% over Jason Carter with 41%. And the Libertarian coming in at one point, I think, had about 2%. And yes, remaining at 2%. However, take note, because CNN is calling this race, they say Governor Deal has won his bid for re-election. All right, moving now to South Carolina. In the Palmetto State, Governor Nikki Haley claimed the win early in the night, and WJCL first reported the win during election cut-ins hours ago.
Yeah, she handily beat Democratic State Senator Vincent Shaheen to win a second term. You see a look at the numbers right now with Nikki Haley, 65% of the vote, to Sheehan's 34%. That's with 100% of the precincts reporting. Shaheen lost to Haley back in 2010, but that race was much closer. WJCL's Megan Schiller has been following this race for us all night.
That's right. She continues our team coverage tonight live from Beaufort County. Megan.
Democratic Vincent Shaheen, he just tweeted out, while today didn't go how we had hoped, we're still as optimistic as ever. about South Carolina's future. Now today, whenever I was talking with voters in Bluffton, almost everyone said they were going to be voting for Governor Nikki Haley, and it looks like they got what they wanted. Not only is she the first female governor here in South Carolina, she's also the youngest governor in the nation. Governor Haley fundraised around $8 million for this rematch against Democrat Vincent Shaheen.
We've worked so hard to talk about the jobs and the education reform and transportation reform and all of those things that we've done. Today's Judgment Day. You know, today's the day where everybody lets us know whether they think we've done a good job.
Governor Haley beat Shaheen back in 2010, but that was only by a small margin back then. She won in 2010 with about 52% of the vote over Shaheen's 46%. Obviously, this year the numbers right now are at 65% to 34%. Obviously, there are still a few numbers coming in. We are going to keep on top of them, and we'll post all of those final results on WJCLnews.com. Reporting live on Hilton Head Island, Megan Schiller, WJCL News, working for you.
All right, thanks, Megan. Turning now to the South Carolina Senate race, where Lindsey Graham of South Carolina has been reelected to a third term in the U.S. Senate. You can see he handily beat opponent Brad Hutto. He had 64% of the vote to Hutto's 31%. WJCL also reported this early win in our election cut-ins hours ago. In another Senate race in South Carolina, Republican Tim Scott on the way back to the Senate. This makes Scott the first black candidate to win a statewide race since just after the Civil War. He wins with 67% of the votes counted, and 67% of the vote rather, to Joyce Dickerson's 31%.
All right, let's take a look at some more of the races in Georgia. Big one here. Buddy Carter has claimed victory over Brian Reese.
Yeah, Carter, of course, the former mayor of Pooler and state senator. He wanted to cut spending and taxes and repeal Obamacare. Reese is a supervisor at UPS. He wants to keep the Federal Health Care Act, expand same-sex marriage, and increase the minimum wage.
Well, WJCL's Nick Notario, he has been all over this race all night long. He was there as Carter claimed victory.
Yeah, he joins us now at Buddy Carter's campaign party in the Hyatt in downtown Savannah. Nick, a lot of folks have cleared out, it seems.
Yeah, you're not kidding. We're pretty much the only ones in the room right now. But earlier tonight, there were a lot of excited people, excited to cheer on Congressman-elect Buddy Carter. Now, Carter is no stranger to politics. He served as Pooler's mayor and also as state senator not too long ago. Now, Carter, he wants to, when he gets down to Washington, he said his goal is to focus on government spending and also the economy and getting young people jobs. Now, when he took to the podium tonight, it was interesting. He didn't thank his family first or supporters. The first person he thanked was Jack Kingston. Kingston, you might know, is been congressman for the 1st District for the past 22 years. However, he wasn't on the ballot today because he decided to run for Senate and lost against now Senator-elect David Perdue. We're waiting to talk to Congressman-elect Buddy Carter right now, who was able to defeat Brian Reese earlier tonight. He is right now busy. We are going to come back to us in a little bit later on so that way you can hear Congressman-elect Carter. But for now, reporting live from downtown Savannah, Nick Notario, WJCL News, working for you.
All right, Nick, thank you, sir. And moments before the election was called, WJCL stopped by Brian Reese's party in downtown Savannah. The Democrat has never held political office. Reese is a Savannah State grad who works at UPS. He's focused on keeping the Federal Health Care Act, improving Savannah and Brunswick ports, and increasing the minimum wage. Reese told WJCL News he's proud of the race he's run.
I could not be more proud of the team and my wife and I for the election that we ran. We ran on the issues. We didn't run negative campaigns or negative ads. We ran concerned about people and what we could do to help their lives be better as congressmen, and we're excited about that. We're extremely proud of the race we've run.
And once again, WJCL News, we reported earlier that Buddy Carter has won this race.
Coming up on WJCL News, we are your election headquarters.
Bringing you up-to-the-minute results. We'll continue to bring you updates throughout Georgia and South Carolina.
And Chief Meteorologist Jeff Kirk over there.